How we doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. We have a five-man panel tonight. I am your host, Richie. Joined by me, Window 5, my man, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx. My guy, Ryan Shed, and it was me, by the way, with the echo, I believe. Maybe not. We'll figure out that echo as we move.
It is.
My man, Zach Shed, to the window. And coming back, my guy, Jason Michael Green. First time officially so, because last time he was hanging with us, we were actually on IG. Jason, introduce yourself to the viewers and who you root for. I can tell with your hat.
It's a giveaway.
All right, so hello everybody. I'm Jason. Yeah, I know Richie from work. I know Zach from work. I know Idris a little bit. I was with these guys during the Super Bowl. Ryan, nice to meet you finally.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we already know. Based on my hat, I'm a diehard Philadelphia fan. So I know Richie and Idris is happy to have another NFC East rival join the stream in the podcast. And yeah, man, let's get this thing on the road.
Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say that we needed one.
Yeah, we did. We got another one possibly coming. My homie Cherie, so she just hit me up today, so she might be joining.
Yeah, bro, I like it.
Yeah, she's from Philly too.
Nice.
I like it. All right. Well, we're doing something a little different tonight. As you know, we normally go directly into our weekly picks. Idris did some work in the field for us, which I greatly appreciate. And he actually got some people to ask us some direct questions. I'm going to be giving my personal answers, but without opening my big mouth. I'm going to just let you guys read my answers, and I'll let the guys carry the talking end of this because I want to make sure everybody has a chance to speak on these matters. We've got Robert Montague. All right, there we go. Maybe not. Where we at, bro? Looks like I'm freezing on my.
Pretty good.
There we go. Here we go. Robert Montague asked, what are the panel's predictions of the Detroit Lions? What can we work on, and are we headed in the right direction? So apparently, Mr. Montague is a Detroit Lions fan. I'm going to hit my answer here, and then I'm going to let you guys have at it. I think the Lions are on the rise all in all. I believe they have to get healthy in the wide receiver room and continue to use their dual running back threats for sustained success. If you want to know anything about their defense, just look at the scores of their games and what they're doing in the fourth quarters. All I'm going to say is Aiden Hutchinson is a budding superstar, but they still need a lot of help everywhere else. But their offense is damn good.
I'm going to agree. I think Matt Campbell's done a good job. They picked up his attitude. He gets out there, works out with them. I mean, if your coach is down there doing up, downs, and everything else, you got to get out there and do it too. Because this man went through the wars and the battles. He got the injuries. He got all that stuff. So I think they're on the uprise. I just think they don't need to get too big in the head and listen to the press. Just keep doing what they're doing. And they're on the up. They're on the up.
Yeah, they're on the up overall. I mean, their defense still needs a lot of work. Their secondary is decent. They did a couple offseason acquisitions. Their linebacking core, in my opinion, is their weakest link on that defense. Their offensive line is decent. They still need a right guard and a right tackle, in my opinion. But with Montgomery leading the way, I know he was hurt last game, and Gibbs coming out of the backfield with his speed, that's a dangerous combo, bash and dash. I mean, people have been doing it for years, and just give him a little bit of time, especially with Gibbs. I think that once they start to utilize him as the weapon he is, and he gets a little bit more time under his belt, it'll be great. I do think they need number two wide receiver, though. Amon-Ra is legit. You have Josh Reynolds, but I mean, he's more of like a third stringer, slot guy. He's not really going to take the top off, or he's not a possession receiver. But overall, yes, they are on the up. Zach or Jay?
Yeah, the Lions are definitely on the upscale. Especially if you look at the past 5 years, if you want to compare it, then everything is positive.
Yeah, they actually have a winning record in
For
the
the
month
last
of
39
September.
years.
For real, a generation.
But I totally agree. They got to continue to start using both those running backs, stay on them. And Gibbs is freaking amazing, man. They got to keep on him and keep Goff's confidence high.
Yeah.
Which I think
I like
Campbell
it.
does a very good job of doing.
I like it.
Yeah, I agree. Lions are definitely on the rise. I'm a point on what Idris said. You know, they can't get too ahead of themselves. You know, they still got some work to do. You know, with the secondary, I believe they lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson, right?
Mhm.
Pec
Indeed.
injury. So,
Indeed.
I mean, yeah. So, I think they're going to be great, but they still got to stay the course this year.
Yeah. I mean, it's the right year for them to win that division. The way I look at it, Minnesota's 0-3, but it's not a death nail because that division's very winnable for everybody,
Except for Chicago.
except for Chicago. Yes, because it all starts at
yeah.
quarterback, and Justin Fields is not who we thought he was or who we hoped he was.
He's who I thought he was. I said
Okay.
I said Ohio State quarterbacks do not succeed. CJ Stroud doing a little different, but
he did say that.
they don't.
I built a badass team in another league with John, but I kind of neglected the quarterback position until later. I ended up with him, but thankfully I was still able to pick up a Brock Purdy this week as well as Jordan Love last week. Justin Fields is no longer a member of my team, so it kind of goes to show, that I made a boo-boo on that, and I take the blame on making a bad choice there.
I'm still going to brag that I'm the one who said Brock Purdy would succeed when he took over. I'm living on that one.
I mean, I know Shed won't argue with you. You know, Shed's a Niner fan. I know he likes that.
I called it.
All right. We've got the Lions going to Green Bay because I'm going to follow with my prediction here. I got the Lions winning a third consecutive against Green Bay 26-20. I like what I'm seeing out of Jordan Love. I think Green Bay's defense is pretty good. I really do. But I think the Lions are getting to a point now where they're kind of getting a mental toughness where they could go on the road and win these kind of 50-50 games. Having said that, I think both these teams have a legitimate shot to both make the playoffs. I picked the Lions to win this division in the preseason. I stick with it. I think Green Bay's on the rise in their own right. But with their banged-up team right now, Lions are a little bit healthier, just a little bit, not by much. I think the Lions have the more established quarterback, and they've been together a little longer. And I think in a game like this that matters, were it not for Derek Carr getting hurt last week, I really don't think the Green Bay Packers would have came back, but they did. Packers are 2-1. Lions are 2-1. I got the Lions pulling out, in my opinion, what'll be a close game. I just think that they're a little more seasoned, and I think that week 1 game against Kansas City did something for the morale, and they didn't get their heads down after losing an OT to Seattle. They came back and took care of business. That's not what we're used to seeing the Lions do, and it shows me that they're a different team right now. I like them for the win.
Same thing going with the Lions, 2017. They've proven that they can win in Lambeau. And the Packers are still hurting, man. And they can't afford to get down 17, not like they did against the Saints this past weekend.
No way.
They get behind like that, they can just cancel it. Jordan Love is coming on. I think he's going to be the man there. But they're still hurting, man. Offensive line. I don't think Jair Alexander's playing or not. I'm not sure. If he is, that'll help the defensive backfield. But I think they're still hurting, and the Lions have the confidence now. You know, we could beat them in Lambeau. So
Dan Campbell has upped the standard there for sure.
Yeah. Lions 28, Pack 17.
I got the Lions winning 23-20 in a close game. Aaron Jones is still hurt. We don't know if he's playing, and a lot of drop balls against the Saints, and a lot of them weren't Jordan Love's fault. They were just, they're rock hands. They'll come around, I'm sure. Having Detroit come to town, I just don't see a lot of success there. And if Jair Alexander cannot play, Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to just run all over there. Well, catch all over them, I'm sure. So, that's a big thing if Alexander doesn't play. So, but yeah, I got Detroit winning 23-20.
All right, Zach or Jay?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. I'll put Detroit winning 28-24. Yeah, like you said, if Jair Alexander doesn't play, Amon-Ra St. Brown is just going to torch them the entire game. Same with Gibbs on the outside.
He's such a great route runner, man.
yeah,
He's really evolved his game. He made a huge step from year 1, year 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's in year 3 now.
Year 3.
Yeah.
But just mastering the route tree is what's making him such a great player right now. Goff has got his confidence back, man. The Rams kicked him out, just flat out kicked him out, and he picked himself up, and he's back to being a top 10 quarterback, at least for right now.
All right, so I'm also going to take the Lions. I'm actually going to say 34-31.
Ooh.
Okay, you got a high-scoring game. Okay.
It's going to be a shootout.
That'd be nice, though.
One, if Aaron Jones is playing and Christian Watson, I'm not sure if he'll be back, but I think the Lions, they got that confidence. You know, they ended the Packers' chances of playoffs last year, so I think they're going to ride off of that.
That's right.
And, the offense for the Packers, they got missing pieces, and then once they come back, they still got to gel, get into a rhythm. But I think Jared Goff is becoming himself again. After leaving the Rams, he kind of lost his confidence, and then now in Jared Goff, the number 1 overall pick.
I like it, man. And to piggyback off your point, Jason, I feel that what they're doing for the first part of this month of September, the month's almost over now. It's like it's an extension of ending Green Bay season last year. I think that was much needed confidence, because it says a lot about a team when you don't have a chance to make the playoffs because of what happened a few hours earlier, but then you come out with nothing to play for against a team that has everything to play for, and you kick their ass. I think it says a lot about what Dan Campbell is doing there. And it says a lot about his kind of fight, because he almost got canned early in the year before he kind of reclaimed the position of, and just refocusing his team. So it's not an easy thing to do in the NFL. But as you know, being an Eagles fan, the one coach that won you a Super Bowl had a little bit of a rough patch after winning, and they moved on from him. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a what have you done for me lately league. That is an easy way to put it. Brian Dable was a darling last year for my team. Right now, not so much. So shit happens fast. I think that's the best way to put it. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Denise Wilson has a question. Do my Steelers have a chance to make the playoffs? Absolutely. Everybody in the AFC North has a chance. And the way I look at it, it's wide open. Each team brings a credible argument as to why they can win. Steelers need to let KP, that being Kenny Pickett, continue to develop. They have arguably the best defensive player in the league. My personal pick is Micah Parsons. Some people say TJ Watt. Neither answer is a wrong answer. But Mike Tomlin, even when it looks like they have lackluster rosters or they're just not getting it, he always manages to have a winning record. But going into the year, I believe I picked the Bengals to win this division. But right now, and this is only based on 3 weeks, I think the Browns are the best team in this division. And that's saying something, considering that Nick Chubb is out for the year. That's actually saying something. But I do like the combo that could be happening with Ford and with Kareem Hunt, because I think Ford is the Nick Chubb to what they already had in Kareem Hunt before he was no longer a member of the team. If Chubb doesn't go down, Kareem Hunt doesn't become a Brown again. But classy touch on Kareem Hunt representing his brother with the jersey. I thought that was a nice touch. Paying homage to a guy who's going to go through an awful lot if he ever wants to play football again. Really scary injury. Never want to see that happen to anyone. I don't care how much you hate a player or hate a team. You never want to see that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they can make the playoffs. But wow, the way Cincinnati played, Monday night, I'm like, wow. I thought they were out of it. So I think I think the division is wide open. The defense is good. Steelers defense is pretty good. Kenny Pickett, I think him and Pickett need to get some more, more cohesiveness. I think they need to let him throw the ball more. He needs to he needs to look at the field better too, because he had a lot of passes that could have been taken the other way.
Yes.
Najee Harris got to pick it up also, because I thought he would get out to a better start this season. He's doing all right, but he could do a little bit better. But they can make the playoffs. It's going to be a fight, because that division, Cleveland looks like the best team, but who knows?
Yeah, it's a week. Like I said to Jason a second ago, it's literally, especially in September. I find September to be the hardest time to pick games.
Mhm.
Like our guy Jordan does a pick and pool every week, and it's very difficult to pick winners in week one, or to make sense, or the whole 4 weeks really, but to make sense of the month of September. You get a lot of upsets that you won't get in other months of the season. So, it's almost like an extension of the preseason in that regard.
Yeah.
I'm going to go this way now. Jason, you're up, and then we're going to work it back to Shed.
All right. Let's see. Steelers. Yeah, I think they can make it in as a wild card
Okay.
because, again, the AFC North is wide open. Lamar's doing great, but they're battling injuries. The Browns defense, obviously, I know who their coordinator is, and Jim Schwartz. So I know a lot about their defense.
He don't play either.
No.
That was the defense of the old for the Eagles. So I know exactly how they like
That
to roll.
shit's like paramilitary, man. You don't play around.
That's
You
that
don't play
freaking
nothing.
that Buddy Ryron shit. He's like,
yeah. I'll never forget when he punched Gilbride, bro. That's like timeless.
Oh, that was funny. That was that was great.
And I love Gilbride because he helped us. He helped Eli's progression in a big way.
So Buddy,
but that shit was funny. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of funny.
So the Browns defense is playing really great. If they can continue that up, hey man, who knows? The Browns might win the division. Bengals, Joey B is banged up still. Their offense is inconsistent right now. So, hey, the division's wide open. But my pick for that division is definitely, I'm going to shock y'all, the Baltimore Ravens. I think they can win the division, even with injuries.
So do you feel that your pick for the Ravens, Jason, is it your faith in the coaching, your faith in the fact that Lamar's just been around the block the most in this division, or just a little bit of all of it? Because they are very adaptable. I will say that.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of everything. I know Lamar's under a new offensive coordinator, so we're seeing him do a little bit more dropping back and trying to get the ball out to the receivers a little bit more. But, he's still the same old Lamar. He's going to run if he needs to.
Yeah, absolutely. With that gift that God gave him to be that fast, it's hard not to want to run.
Yep.
Mr. Zach.
You're up, Zach.
I definitely like the Steelers for the AFC North. Like everyone keeps saying, their division's wide open. The biggest thing that worries me about the Steelers, though, is their line.
Yes.
I feel like it also has to do with a lot of Najee's production right now. Is that their line is so there's holes in their line. And same with KP getting hit consistently. Yeah. He got injured last game as well, I think. He went out for a little bit.
I was worried that he wasn't going to survive the 49er game.
Oh, man, they killed him.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm still personally going to pick Cincy. I think they'll turn it around. I think they'll get their shit together pretty quickly.
All right.
All right. But, yeah, the Steelers line worries me the most on that team. I think it explains a lot of the running production right now, as well as KP getting hit. So I think they have a chance if they get their shit together.
And to piggyback off Zach, then my biggest to answer the question, yes, the Steelers can make the playoffs, but they have a hill to climb. Straight up, like Zach elaborated to the running game, which I mean, it is essentially non-existent. Like they really don't have one. I mean, Najee's averaging like 50 yards a game or something like that. So they're one-dimensional. Is where I'm going with that. So they're just going to start dropping. And Pickens is great, but I mean, you have Freiermuth, stuff like that. But their defense is what's winning their games and keeping them competitive right now.
Yeah,
so if their offense doesn't step it up, I mean that's going to be their Achilles heel. And Kenny Pickett's still learning and developing, and I think he can be great. But to go back to the offensive line, that's a huge problem. And their defense is great. So again, defense can win championships, but you got to have something on offense.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll win the division. And I do like Zach with Cincy. I think they will turn it around.
Okay, I like it, guys.
Baltimore's hurt a lot. Cleveland, they have Deshaun Watson.
Who I will say is starting gradually, slowly, looking like the player he was a couple of years ago. But I got to see it more. Yeah, oh yeah, he was. I got to see it more consistently from Deshaun to become more of a believer in it. Yeah, I like the feedback. I do have a question for you, Zach. Did you pick the Steelers because of Megan?
No.
I just had to ask, bro. I was like,
growing up in Pennsylvania.
because if you, I know.
Eagles
I just thought it was
fan,
funny.
Steelers fan, so I feel like I always tend to pick them a little bit.
To the viewers.
So you're from
Zach,
Pennsylvania?
Oh yeah, he's
I
from
grew up in
PA.
Harrisburg.
So how did you become I don't want to get off. How did you become a Charger fan?
Oh, my dad was a Chargers fan.
Oh, okay.
He liked their uniforms in the 70s. And
I
when
did
was born,
too,
I just followed.
Same here. I love the powder blue. Yeah,
Rich,
I'm not
Rich, how
gonna
did I
lie.
know you was gonna say that too? How did I know you was gonna say that?
No, because I'm like, I don't know, Zach. You didn't sell me that they're going to be okay, but I'm like, he's from there. Like, it's all good.
I like them, but they got to fix their holes.
Yeah, they got some issues. The Steelers, I got them beating the Texans 24-17. Having said that, if the Texans win their second consecutive game, I wouldn't be blown away. But I do think this is a get-right game for the Steelers where experience and just coaching, not taking a crap on DeMeco Ryans. I think he's damn good from his 49er run, and now he's a head coach. I just think the master, Mike Tomlin, just makes enough plays and gets his team to make the plays necessary. And it's like anything else. You said the Steeler defense makes enough plays now waiting on the offense. You look at that Browns game, that was a classic example of that. It was like the Steelers defense was like, we're going to keep making plays, and eventually you guys are going to score. Now, when you play against the league's elite, like the 49ers, you saw what they did to them. And, Philly right now, as much as it pains me to say that, is an elite football team. Dallas, hold my beer, let's see. But, I'm not going to punish them that severely off of one bad week. Because they certainly look elite for eight quarters against the New York team. So that's my prediction. Have at it, boys.
Yeah, I'm going with the same thing. Steelers win. I'm going 24-13. I think the defenses will pick up. That's all I got to give.
Okay.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, not that I'm projecting injuries on anyone, but
I think
CJ Stroud will be all right, or they're going to really get on him?
I think they're going to get to him.
All right.
Yeah, I think they'll get to him.
All right.
He's a big guy, though, but I think they'll get to him.
Yeah, he showed what he could be last week. It's going to be interesting to see him week to week. Shed, you're up.
I got Pittsburgh 2014.
All right. Zach?
Yeah, about the same. I got Pittsburgh 17-10.
Ooh.
Damn, everybody's agreeing with me. Jason, pick the Texans.
You know
I
what?
like Bryce Young, but
I'll tell y'all this. I was watching that Texans Jaguars game, and I'm not gonna agree with Richie. I'm a lone wolf this shit.
Okay.
24-20. I think the Texans they're starting to find their stride, and I think they're going to pull out the win.
Oh, they're at Houston.
They're at Houston. Yeah, they're home.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip mine, man.
Don't say. Come on,
I'm sorry.
don't say that's a tough place to win.
My bad. When I was looking at it,
Don't turn around and be like, Houston's a real tough
I was
place to
looking
go
at
to and get a
Texans
W.
Steelers, and I was looking at the thing, and I said, wait a minute.
Yeah, Texans are home. I think the Texans
I'm
get the
gonna go-
win. 24-20.
That's funny, dude.
You know what?
No, it's just funny. Like you said, they're in Houston. I'm like, does it matter?
Yeah, it does.
Houston, Costco parking lot.
Oh man.
All right.
I'm going Houston too, man. I mean, yeah, they're at Houston, so yeah. Sorry, man.
I like it. No, it's funny. That's funny. I like it. Because I can make fun of Houston. I was like, kind of like how we are with Detroit. Like, bro, they're
Right.
so bad.
Appreciate that, Jay.
Right. You inspired him to change his pick. Toya Jones has a question. She asks, why is everyone overreacting
Yes.
But
about the Cowboys?
Before you answer her
Cowboys.
question, me and Toy
Yeah.
go at it. I got to give her props. We go at it all the time, but she's a realist, but she's still a Kardashian.
Okay.
She's the type that when they win, she's all comes up to the kitchen. But when they lose, she calls it sick. She called it sick on Monday.
Tough loss.
Shout out Tamara Love. If you're watching, I love you, but you're one of those two that used to do that at work. We them boys. I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
shout out to
That's her.
shout out,
the
shout
Cowboys
out
are a
to
better
Lonnie.
team now than when they were when she was doing that.
Talking about she had pink eye.
Pink guy.
That's what she said. She had pink,
All,
but she came to work
all the
yesterday.
cheers. It was all
She
the
came to work
cheers.
yesterday
Idris.
though.
Shout out to Lonnie, Scott, who else? Rona, everybody at Mythos. That's Cowboys fan.
Yeah, like everybody. Steven.
Pink
Yeah,
eye.
there's a lot of them. They're everywhere, bro. Yeah, that's one thing I got to say about that organization. Like them or not,
Pink
they
eye
travel
healed in
well.
one
They're
day.
always well represented.
I was
No
gonna
doubt.
ask, were we gonna talk about the Cowboys? But all right.
I got a bunch of them at my job, man. Bunch of
They're
them.
We do
everywhere.
too.
Like roaches.
I've got the answer here. Your team had just lost your second best defensive player. Your defense, which some have already compared to the 85 Bears and 2000 Ravens, struggled. Cowboys are always praised or scrutinized. And what I mean by that is by the masses one way or another. It's always a polar opposite. They're a polarizing team, dude. They're America's team for a reason. They're to what they are in football, no matter how good their team is or how bad their team is. They are similar to what the Yankees is in baseball. They get the headlines. And sometimes Jerry drives it with his bullshit. But at the end of the day, I do think that they're somewhere in between the team that basically embarrassed the Giants and Jets and the team that got embarrassed by the Arizona Cardinals. Trevon Diggs is one of the best in the game at what he does. So his loss is no easy thing to overcome. And I do think that on the personal human level, they may have been, emotionally drained from seeing their guy go down. That's not an easy thing when players are close friends of one another to see a guy go down like that. I believe the Cowboys need to make a deal for a corner that is playing at a high level on a team that is not good and not going to the playoffs. That's what I believe they need to do if they're going to keep pace with Jason's team and go further than that. That's my opinion.
Well, I'm not overreacting. I said a certain person said the team had no weaknesses. A certain person said the team had no weaknesses. And what was it? Richie Shed? Who did I say is their weakness? I said, watch. Just like
Dildo Dick.
That's why me and Stephen A. Smith need to be brothers. Because this is what I said. No matter what happens, Dak will throw the interception that will end the game.
Wait, time out. You're telling me that somebody said that they have no weaknesses at all?
Somebody said that.
I know this guy.
Who threw the interception that ended the game? Dak Prescott.
And on that note, Idris, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you heard any good jokes lately?
Yeah, I don't want to say it though. It might offend a few people.
Just a couple.
Anyway.
To answer the question,
Sorry, go ahead.
To answer the question,
sorry, Carson.
Oh yeah, I forgot Carson.
To answer the question, I don't think anybody's overreacting because this is all you Cowboys fans. This is all you do. Oh, they're the best team in football, and then, whoop. So everybody just throwing it back in your face like this is what they do. They do all these good things, and all of a sudden they drop off, and you guys are all like, "Oh, it's just one game. It's not a big deal." But when they win, they beat the Jets and the Giants. Shut the front door. Who cares?
Right.
Listen, you know how I love my team, but I don't have delusions about my team. I'm a fair person when it comes to the grand scheme of
beat
it.
somebody that's good,
And I
then you
show
lose
up for my
it.
beating. After I take a beating, I show up. I don't go hiding.
Said,
Oh,
I don't mean to interrupt you. Said
go ahead.
they got beat by a guy with no eyebrows who was trying to be a freaking astronaut. This dude was about to retire. He was about to retire. They attacked. They did something we didn't do, and it just didn't do. Attack their weakness. As great as and I'm not trashing the defense is insanely good.
They're going to be prideful this week.
They cannot stop the run. Frisco proved it last year. Frisco proved it the year before. And the Cardinals did it again. They attacked, and Trevon Diggs, I say he's the best on the team because you know why? With him not being out there, that D-line couldn't do nothing to Josh Dobbs. They said, look, we're not worried about you. Kept and
I will give Josh Dobbs props, too, because he had a hell of a first half against the New York Giants before the Giants were able to get just enough heat on him to alter some throws. And like I said, a trap game is a trap game no matter who you are. Me at the surface level, I'm not overreacting just in the sense that I know that these things happen. But when, they are getting compared, and not just by one fan that we know. I'm talking about the masses to these two defenses. You got to hold off a little at it being reasonable. That's all.
Right.
Zach?
Oh, yeah, to answer the question, That's the life of a Cowboys fan. You're either going to get hated or you're going to be allowed to talk as much shit as you want. But it's one or the other. I don't know if it's really overreacting. It might be, but
And I try to be fair. That's why I
the life.
compared him to my favorite baseball team, because the Yankees are like that too. And you want to talk about overreacting?
Exactly.
Yeah, Yankees lose one game to Tampa in the beginning of the year. You know, you got people on suicide watch. Like, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah,
Fire
so that's all I
organization.
really have to say on it. So Jason can go now.
Oh, I waited for Jason because Jason Philly
Yeah, I
fan,
know.
so
I've
he's
been
gonna
waiting for
I told
Jason,
you
spit it out, Jay.
so.
Spit it out. Spit it
I
out.
told you so. How many times have the Cardinals beaten the Cowboys?
It's like they're like
7?
8-1 or something.
I'm not gonna lie. I was not aware of that recent stat.
Yes.
That kind of surprised me.
Yeah. And who's the coach of the Cardinals?
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Gannon.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
He knows what they like to do.
Exactly.
And he knew exactly how to attack them bum ass
Mhm.
Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Run
I will
the
say this.
ball down their damn throat.
Run it down their throat.
I will say this.
That's what
I
he
will
did.
say this though. I was encouraged. Now, granted, it's not the same roster that we're playing, but I was encouraged to see the Giants have that kind of second half on offense against that particular coach, knowing what he has done to the Giants for a decent amount of years. But once again, not the same roster. I'm not comparing it, but I do have a respect for that coach as well.
I want to beat my cousin, dude.
But
Forget that.
I know.
We need to beat Aaron Moorhead. That's all we need to beat.
So
I hope you're listening, cuz.
Is Josh Dobbs a Charlie Villanueva?
Exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's him. That's
sorry, Jay, go ahead.
Brother.
My bad.
This is long lost brother, man.
To answer the question, no, it's not an overreaction. We all saw this coming. It was going to happen at some point. They beat the Giants. They beat the Jets. But then they went into Arizona thinking, hey, we got the easy win.
Mm-hmm. It's a bye week.
No.
There are no easy wins.
And I know we're about to get into the predictions, so I'll hold it till then.
All right, fair
they
enough.
Might be losing 2 straight. We'll see.
I got the upset. I got the
All right.
upset. I'm gonna tell you now, I got the upset.
Well, we got one more question in pertaining to the Cowboys. Tim Richardson, excuse me.
Yeah,
should the Cowboys move on from Dak? Is the defense overrated? This is my answer here. The Cowboys should only move on from Dak when they have a better alternative on the roster. Right now, that answer is no. Your defense is good. Let's chill on historical comparisons.
I agree.
I got my final here.
If he doesn't get it done this year,
if
they end the same way where he is the cause of them losing, gotta go. Period.
But once again, they still have to have somebody waiting. And I'm sorry, guys, I don't believe it's Trey Lance. Time will tell me if I'm a liar. Zeke makes his return to AT&T. I expect that he might have a signature situation, possibly a signature goal line touchdown. It's no secret I'll be rooting for the New England Patriots this week. Having said that, I just think the Cowboys are still a better team despite their recent struggle last week. Patriots just don't have a number one wide receiver. And right now, the Cowboys don't have a number one cornerback, but Stephon Gilmore will be able to get the best of whoever is thrown at him. I do have a confidence in that. I got the Cowboys winning by 10, but it's not going to be easy, but they will win the game.
I'm going to tell you why I'm picking the Cowboys, even though the Patriots are going to win. Because when I pick the Cowboys in a win, they always lose. So I'm going Cowboys 33-17.
I like it.
To answer the question, Dak is your answer right now. They don't either. They have to make something in the off season, or Cooper Rush or Trey Lance. And to Richie, I don't think Trey Lance is going to be your answer.
No.
So, but I do have the Cowboys winning 31-10.
All right. All right.
Damn.
All right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to take the Cowboys as well. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think it's going to be pretty boring in general. I'm going to go 21-14.
All right.
I'm taking the New England Patriots.
You don't even beat that, but I still like
That's my choice, but I'm picking the Cowboys.
Jay, I like Jay.
I'll tell you why. I'm taking the Patriots 20-17. Why? Because, hey, I seen what the Patriots could do week 1.
Yeah.
All right?
They play defense.
I'm not going to give any excuses about my team. they played my guys pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
And I know
Were it not
that
for
coach
some
over
foot-
there
Yeah.
in New England, he knows how to scheme.
Mhm.
That he does.
So Dakota Prescott, you better be on your A game because Billy Bob is coming for you.
All right. I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
Mine is a Jedi mind trick pick. Just remember that.
All right. We got Dante Anderson here. He asks, can the Jets be fixed? And who's to blame for all this shit? That sounds like a typical Jet fan question.
That's how it came out to when he asked.
So typical. Richie's answer: the Jets have no answer at quarterback. Signing CK7 to the practice squad is not the worst idea. Next year, they keep their first-round pick because Rodgers barely played. It will be okay in 24. I want to say something. CK7 hasn't played in a football game in what, 6 or 7 years? 6 years?
6 or 7 years.
Longer than that?
7, I think.
All right.
Wow.
The fact that I'm saying that they should sign him says everything you need to know about Jet quarterback play. What's his name? Trevor Simeon. He is dumpster juice. Zach Wilson has no business being a starter for a high school team, let alone a professional football team. The Jets picking up Aaron Rodgers with no insurance policy on him shows how they were admitting that Zach Wilson was a horrible pick. The reason for the Jet fans why I say don't be upset about the standings this year is because of the fact that you're keeping that first-round pick. And I do believe that given the kind of mindset Aaron Rodgers has, even though he is kind of old to be coming back from an injury of that nature, he will come back in year 2 and give them a chance to win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to get crazy and say they're going to win it, but I do believe that he will be back. And in the grand scheme of things, outside of the collarbone once and some foot issues, some rib issues, Aaron Rodgers has, for the most part, been clean. And I always tell people this, and they forget. When they look, he's been in the league forever. People forget he sat for 3 years. Mm-hmm. So he's young for his age, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Having said that, and I'm going to bring it back to the question, I got the Chiefs winning 27-9. I'm giving the Jets enough respect to keep this thing close for a little while. And I think what happens is the defense gets tired. They're tired of being on the field. And, to be honest, the Chiefs, everybody always thinks about their offense first and foremost. And people normally overlook their defense. Since Chris Jones has come back to Kansas City, they have been a very good unit. And the Jets just don't offer enough on offense to do much of anything. I got the Jets scoring 3 field goals, and it's only because I have a high opinion of their defense. Kansas City, this is not going to be like the prettiest or easiest win. Granted, it's by 18 points. I think a late touchdown is what really drives the scoreboard out of whack. I think the Jets will be in this game all game. They just can't score.
Well, as for the question, they can't be fixed unless they bring a quarterback in. Putting CK7 on a practice squad, say he ain't played in I don't know how long. I watched him on his Instagram. He still got an arm, but you still got to get on the field. It's a whole different thing when you get on the field.
And I want to make it clear that, me saying that is just my genuine opinion, that's how horrible the QB room is. And it's not even a slight on CK7, so to speak. Do I think CK7 deserved to be benched when he lost his job because he's playing up and down? Yeah, possibly. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think that all 32 backups in the NFL are better than the CK7 that I remembered before he was no longer playing. So somewhere in between my comment, I think there's some truth. But I do mean that. It's not the worst case scenario. I mean, you got a guy, Cam Newton, who's a former league MVP. Do I think he's a starter anymore? No. But I think he enhances your quarterback room when you lose a 4-time MVP.
But see, that's the part I don't get about this. Just Robert Saleh, and as for blame, I'm going to start with Joe Douglas. And I'm going to say Saleh. Saleh keeps saying, this is our man, this is our man, this is our man. The team is like, no, it's not. When your players are saying, no, it's not, dude. This is not our guy. You got to do something. You got Carson Wentz out there. Not great, but he can play football. Yeah, see, he's working with us. He needs to be on the field. You got Cam Newton. You got Cam Newton out there. You got a lot of you can trade for Teddy Bridgewater. He's sitting in Detroit doing nothing. I'm
saying there are quarterbacks in this league that are better than what your alternative is in Trevor.
Right.
It's like they're trying to force people to believe that they didn't fuck up that pick.
They did.
And I'm like, guys, it was a horrible pick. Just own it. We messed up when we got Eli Apple. We messed up when we signed Kenny Galladay. Not every pick or every trade works out. You got to own it and move on.
Trey
I
Lance.
don't know why they let Mike.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Trey Lance. Good call.
Mike White.
Anybody.
Mike White go down to Miami.
He was balling out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
He threw
he's
two
better than-
passes.
He's better than freaking Wilson. He's better
I got
than
more
freaking Wilson.
Mike White has a better Jet resume in terms of making moments than Zach Wilson does, boys. That's a fact.
So my question: can they be fixed? No, unless they sign a quarterback and say Wilson is not the guy. Stop lying to everyone. Wilson is not the guy.
I couldn't agree more, Idris. I couldn't agree more. We've got about 19 minutes left. I wanted to ask the panel. I know Idris in a little bit has to get ready for his other podcast, Casual Convo. I'm going to try to make a drive-by in there tonight. Fellas, we have a decent amount of games that we still have to cover. I wanted to ask you guys as a group. I know Shed might be out given his work schedule. We'll see. Would you guys like to do a second video specifically going over the remainder of this week?
Don't matter.
I know you got to go, Idris.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to say if anybody wanted to hang for the second half tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, there you in?
We'll probably have to go after this one.
That's all right, man. You got a daughter. It's all good, guys. It's all good. So we got, like I said, we got about 19 minutes left. We're gonna hit on some of these games, and we'll see how we go about video 2. For now, let's go with this first game overseas. We've got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sort of games being played in London. Jaguars offense has gone to sleep for 2 consecutive losses. The former namesake of this show, Mr. Jordan Patrick, I was giving him some stuff today. I was like, bro, your team is pretty bad too. And he's like, nah, Texans are better than you're giving them credit for. I'm like, maybe you're right. That'll be revealed. Nonetheless, this Jaguar offense needs to wake up. I don't even consider this a home game because it's overseas. It's a neutral site. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to win. And I've got them winning. I'm going to go 27-20. I think Bijan Robinson and Algier are both going to go off in their own way. I could see a Ritter pick, but I could see a couple more from Trevor Lawrence, who is having trouble taking care of the football. And Jacksonville's defense is sporadic. Ever since they chose not to punt right before the half in the Kansas City game, I think that their season has taken a negative turn. And things, like I said, things happen quick in this league.
Okay. Before I go, no, you good? Yeah, I see your mama. Yeah, mama.
My mama's pissed.
Yo, yeah, it is. Y'all done got her started.
Alleged garbage.
We shouldn't have said it when she was coming.
Yeah, we triggered her. We triggered her naming those 2 clowns.
I knew, like I've been saying for the longest, I am not sold on Jacksonville. I'm going to keep it that way. Atlanta's going to beat them. I don't think it's going to be close. I'm going to call 28-17 Atlanta. Let me sign out, y'all. Glad we had a full panel. And as usual, I'm not going to say the F word, but I'm going to say F the Cowboys. Good luck to your teams this weekend. We all playing. Washington's going to lose. Who the Chargers got, Zach, this weekend?
Who do we play? I just got back from vacation. Let me think.
Look at you.
Las Vegas.
He had to sign out. Look at us. They go black on us. You got Vegas. They'll beat the Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who you got, Shed?
Arizona.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
I think y'all beat Arizona.
y'all gonna beat them.
The line's 14, man. I don't know. Arizona's playing tough. We'll see.
Yeah. We got Seattle. Geno's coming to New York. We're gonna let him feel it too. He's gonna hear it, feel it, and everything. But I'm out, y'all.
I'm gonna save my
Have a good one,
my
Idris.
energy for that later. But yeah, I want to believe you, Idris. I just don't know if I do. Enjoy Casual Convo.
All right, man. See you on the next one. Later, dude.
See you, man.
Oh, okay. Miami Dolphins going to Buffalo to take on the Bills. The overall season series, like the overall record, historically is incredibly close with these 2 teams. Last year, Buffalo took 2 out of 3. But all 3 games were like hyper competitive, very close. Skylar Thompson played the playoff game and almost beat these Bills. Right now, Miami's looking like they could do no wrong. They just put up 70 on Sean Payton's Denver Broncos. They look like they may very well be the best team in the AFC and the most realistic Dolphins team to go to a Super Bowl since Dan Marino took them there way, way, way back in the day. Having said all that, because of all of that, I like Buffalo this week. I think after the real crappy performance in MetLife Stadium on the Monday night Aaron Rodgers game, I think that since then, after hearing the scrutiny, Josh Allen has stepped up. And granted, the Commanders and the Raiders don't necessarily present the same challenges that this Dolphins team does, but I like the home team here. I think these teams are too evenly matched. I think the Dolphins have a better roster, but I think Bills Mafia shows out, and I think the Bills get the emotional win. Having said that, I think Miami's going to win this division.
I like Miami, and I'll tell you why. Josh Allen. In a high-scoring game like this, he puts too much pressure on himself and tries to force balls, right? He may start getting behind by 14-0 or something like that. That's when he's at his worst because he just makes bad decisions and tries to do too much with the football instead of just going back to his basics. I'll take Miami to win 31-20.
Okay, so you got them going in there and making a statement.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Josh Allen, once the Bills get behind, if they get behind, Josh Allen starts to panic and starts to play a little bit sloppier than we're used to seeing. He played Denver. I'm sorry, excuse me. And now the Commanders, and they just throttled them. It just wasn't even close. I screwed up my picks.
No, you're good, bro. You start talking about the Buffalo Bills and you literally start choking.
That's why, So,
the Bills are a choking hazard.
Yeah.
Shout out NFC East.
Anyway, sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
Shout out NFC East of the 90s. Go ahead, Zach. My bad.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Miami as well. I think it's gonna be a fun game to watch. I think the Bills are gonna turn it around a little bit, look better. I just still think Miami's gonna squeak through. I'm gonna go with 32-28.
All right. I like that. I actually do like that. I'm gonna put up the less notables as we continue to move along the games. I'm gonna let Jason say his piece here as well.
All right. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills at home.
Okay,
31-28.
I like
31-28.
I like it. I
think
do
Josh
like
Allen gets it done. I think the Dolphins are going to come back down to earth just a little bit. They're still going to be riding high. I do think the Dolphins are legit Super Bowl contenders. But I think just for this week, they had a lot of fun playing against, Sean Payton's hazard defense. But I think the Buffalo Bills will play them better. Division game, so yep.
Yeah, and it's like it's tough to I mean, nobody scores 70 every week. I mean, Miami could have the NFL record if Mike McDaniel wasn't keeping it classy, which I actually appreciate that he did that. But yeah, it's going to be a good game, guys. It really could go either way. Like any other football game, you got to take care of the football. The former Browns take on the current Browns. We've got the Ravens at Cleveland, both 2-1. Ravens lost last week in a shocker, and why I say it was a shocker is not because they're not capable of losing to anybody. It's that Justin Tucker missed a potential game-winning field goal. That guy's so automatic. Matt Gay, on the other hand, made the game-winning field goal for Indy. In my opinion, the Browns responded well, handling the Titans with ease, and I think it says a lot about the character of that team when you just lost your leader, because we saw what losing a great player did to Dallas. I'm not saying that's why they lost. I'm saying it was a nice response from Cleveland. Deshaun Watson's play, in my opinion, is starting to improve as the rust continues to fall off. When you miss 2 consecutive football seasons, it's not going to come off right away. It's going to take some time, but I do think Deshaun has an outside shot of being the player he once was. For the game, Cleveland, in my opinion, has a Super Bowl caliber defense. I think they're going to win a close one. I got them winning 19-16. I think points are going to be at a premium. And, I just like the Browns right now. I think that they're really starting to respond to their coach. And I think the Nick Chubb injury is out actually galvanizing this team, bringing them together.
I got the Browns winning 19-14, so very close to you, Richie. I just the Ravens are struggling to run the ball. We don't know if Gus Edwards is healthy. The Browns have a phenomenal defense. Baltimore just hasn't shown enough. I mean, to be honest with you, so I like Cleveland.
All right, Dak and Jay, what do you say?
I think it's going to be a boring game as well. Low scoring. Honestly, it's 50-50, I think. I'm going to go with Cleveland 14-10. If Lamar gets going a little bit, it'll be the Ravens 14-10, but either way,
All
it's going to
right.
be a weak game.
I'm gonna
So
say,
you're not feeling this game. All right.
I would not be watching this one.
I am going to take the Baltimore Ravens 28-21.
Ooh.
That's all
All
I'm
right.
going to say.
I'm going to literally give this game 30 seconds, so that way it gives Jason and I an opportunity to talk about our two teams on the way out. Tampa Bay at New Orleans, both 2-1. New Orleans in recent history, going back to the Tom Brady era, has a decent amount of success against Tampa Bay. Both are coming off rough ones. Saints blew 17-point lead in Green Bay. Bucs were outmatched by Philly, and bad Baker Mayfield showed up. And that's a credit to the Eagles. I think it's a good segue to get into the Eagles. All I'm going to say is I'm going to go with the defense beating the mediocre quarterback. I like the Saints to win this thing. I'm going to go Saints 23, Buccaneers 17. I don't think the game's going to be as close as the score. I think the Bucs kick 3 at the end and don't recover an onside kick. Saints are not much better than the Bucs, but right now they're slightly better, at least in New Orleans, at least this week.
Well, they've got Kamara back now.
Yes, indeed.
But they also have Jameson Winston, who came in for Derek Carr and did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he hasn't played in a minute.
And Tampa Bay had a rough outing, but overall, I still think they're the better team based on what just happened in New Orleans without Derek Carr. So I'm going to take the Bucs, 28-24.
28-24. You like the Bucs, so you do have some kind of faith that Mayfield is getting along well with his two receivers.
Yes. He's
all right.
Good besides the last game.
He did. And, a good defense will do that to you. And the Eagles are a very good defense.
Yeah, I think this week really depends on which Baker Mayfield shows up. He's either terrible or he looks amazing.
Yeah, I hear that.
This week, I think he's going to look decent. I think the Bucs are going to win 21-14.
Heard that.
Especially without Derek Carr. As much as I hate to say it, being a Chargers fan, he is important in that offense.
I know. Okay.
Who's the home team?
It's in New Orleans. Yeah, Saints are home team.
I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints. Why? I think Alvin Kamara's presence being back may spark something on the offense. I know Jameson, crab legs, Wilson,
Shout out Publix.
Shout out to Jameis Winston. I know he didn't really do much, and that's how the Packers got back in the game. But I think since Alvin Kamara, their lead back is back, they probably will spark something. So I'm going to say 24-20. Saints over the Buccaneers.
Because it's Jason's first time on the actual YouTube channel, I'm going to talk about my game first, let him finish his game last. Monday Night Football, I got the Seattle Seahawks, 2-1, traveling to my New York Giants. Seahawks offense is rolling for the most part. The Giants absolutely need to get heat on Geno Smith to win this game. There has not been enough of a presence of getting heat on the quarterback. Geno has not won a lot in that stadium. I know it's a personal game for Geno, even though he's not playing the Jets. People forget he did play for the Giants and had a very dubious start replacing this man right here. Having said all that, I think this is a week that the Giants get right, even though it's not going to be easy. I got the Giants winning this one. I'm going to go 27-24. I think Saquon Barkley plays. I think he's going to be a little bit on a game script, not going overboard, but I do think that he will contribute. I think it's a must-have him under different circumstances. Maybe not. They're 1-2, and he wants to make incentives. They're going to do their best to get him on the field. Giants by 3, but it's not going to be easy.
I like Seattle. I think if Saquon comes back, it's the wrong move. It's a high ankle sprain. You don't come back in a week or 2.5 weeks. You just don't. And historically, when he's tried to come back early from an injury, he's not the same for like 3 or 4 games, and then he finally starts to go. Why not just let him rest? Think about your longevity and not one game. Anyways, I think Seattle's just got a better offense than the Giants have. and their defense is a little shaky. But the Giants, if the Saquon specifically doesn't play, they can't run the ball. So, I mean, I don't know how they're going to do anything to keep Geno off the field or the offense off the field. And still think it's going to be a harder fought game than I'm giving the Giants credit for, but I'll go 24-20 Seattle.
24-20 Seattle. So you got it close. Fellas, your thoughts, and then we're going to move it along to the Eagle game.
I think it'll be a close game as well. 24-21 Giants.
Heard that. Jason, your prediction?
I'm also going to take my division rival. I think they bounce back. I don't think Saquon plays, but I think Danny Dimes does what he has to do to get the dub against the Seahawks. And I'm going to say, surprisingly, 31-28.
Okay, so you got us scoring some points. Both our wins will be on third by scoring 31. Commanders and Eagles, wrapping up our show. The Commanders were the team that messed up Philly's undefeated record last year. Philly whipped them the first time. The Commanders are coming off a very disappointing loss to the Buffalo Bills, which was like a potential statement game, and they didn't show up. Jason, the floor is yours. This is your team, and you got about 4 minutes.
All right, so last week, I think that was the Eagles' most complete game on defense. Offensively, I've been saying this to Richie and Zach for the most part all week, or since the season started. I think the Eagles' offense is not quite there yet. They're rusty a little bit. They haven't played in the preseason. But the defense has been getting better week in and week out. We have a couple injuries. Nakobe Dean's out.
That's a big one.
Avonte Maddox, pec injury. So we're trying to fill some holes, but who knows? Maybe, just maybe, Buda Baker may be on the way. We could talk about that a different show.
I saw that. Yeah, that's going to be worth talking about in the near future, and I do want to revisit that.
But I think the Eagles just keep moving. They keep moving on. Commanders, new offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, however you say his name, Eric B. I think they'll get to the Eagles defense a little bit, but then Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, I think Hassan Reddick's going to get going this game. We haven't really heard from him much this year, but I think this is the game where he finally, he goes after the quarterback, and we finally tell Sam Howell that, this is the division that you chose to play in.
I like that.
Okay, so shout out to Sam Howell, man. He beat the Cowboys last year, but
yeah,
he hasn't met the Philadelphia Eagles yet, and I think the Eagles are going to win. I'm going to say 36-20. I think the Commanders score a little bit, but then they'll slow back down.
Short and sweet for me. Eagles 31, Commanders 23. I think the Commanders put up a respectable outing, but I think that the Eagles win the turnover battle, and that's ultimately why I think they're going to win this game. McLaurin is a very good receiver, but I don't think he has the kind of day that he hopes to have. That's all I got.
31-17 Philly.
All right. Zach, you calling for an upset?
Nah, 28-17 Philly.
All right. We got 90 seconds. I just want to give my final thought. Non-NFL related, and this is going to be a topic on the next show, but my God, Giannis and Dame joining forces in Milwaukee. As a New York Knicks fan, and this man is a Philadelphia Sixer fan, this man is a Miami Heat fan, I'm just like, damn, man, the East just got really hard.
Yes, it did.
Indeed.
I think here I'll touch on a little bit. I think Giannis is going to end up staying with the Bucks. I think that move just pretty much proved to him that
solidified
it that hey, we're willing to compete for championships, and hey, the East is going to be crazy this year, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. And I saw that. I was just like, shit, why didn't he go to the West? We're going to definitely expand on this on our next show and give this topic the love that it deserves, also with Jimmy Butler talking about potential tampering, that he wants the league to look into it. So good Good topics to speak on.
He
For the
is
panel,
pissed.
for my man Zach, for my guy Shed, for Jason, I am your host, Richie. We appreciate you guys taking an hour out of your night hanging with us. It is raining, boys. It is loud as shit
it
out
is.
there on that
It
window. I'm
is.
going to check that out.
Not doing
We
anything
out.
here. Later, guys.